part-time thing. Gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together. And let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice and check out a brand new 2026 Ford Explorer for only $39,995. That's right, under $40,000 for a brand new Explorer, loaded with extras like Copilot 360, second row captain's chairs, and more. With approved credit, receive financing as low as 2.9%. Treat mom to a new Explorer for Valentine's Day this year from Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect. MSRP $45,175.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crowes. Blue-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crowes. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic, February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it. February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainer, driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Bafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good.
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is a Thursday here on The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert's back in the studio, and as soon as I get back, guess who dips out? AD is not here today, as he texted me late last night and had a fever, and so I said, AD, stay far away from the studio, please, and we'll call Jay Form. Well, first, it was going to be Austin Orman. I got to be honest with you, Jay.
I know how it is. Don't even worry about it. You
first, well, because I asked.
Don't even say anything.
It's
all good.
I asked for your help on Monday, and you helped me out on Monday. And so I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll ask Austin for tomorrow. And Austin initially said yes. He said, yeah. He said, yeah, let's do it. I wake up at 4:45 this morning to a text from Austin that said, hey, wife and baby are sick. I'm not going to be able to help out this morning. So then I texted you. Here we are.
But
so
see,
I appreciate
here's the thing that really happens, though, man. I mean, I remember being about 40th and O Street, little Nick Sainer, you little young Nick Sainer, was with me and DP, wet behind the ears. We broke you in.
You did.
And then just magically one trip to Colorado, you become upgrade. Then
that had nothing to do with it.
Then our brother Nate Brennan leaves off and goes to Kansas City, and here comes Austin Orman.
That's true.
All excited to be on it. Then we take him in, and then boom, you just leave the OG out. It's cool, man. I get it, man.
Speaking of Nate, he's back.
I know he is. That's exciting time. I know those dudes earlier talking about better times. The actually better times is when Nate's in the building.
If you had to rank your producers that you've
Nate's
had,
number one.
Really?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Over Austin and myself.
Austin's number 2, and you're
I'm number 3.
Yeah.
See, I think
just because you switched up so quick.
I think the only reason you said that is that you're okay with putting me third is because my feelings won't get hurt.
No, it's honestly because you switched up real quick. You got brand new real quick.
I didn't do anything.
But you did though. You did. But it's cool. But you know what? I like it though, because you worked hard. You come a long way. But you
came in complimenting my jacket today.
You looking fly, man. I'm listen. Unlike you, I can appreciate when you do something well, and I will give you an honest compliment.
I like the fur coat.
Thank you.
It's what's the temperature cutoff for you to wear that thing?
I wear this thing at 45 degrees.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys. A couple of texts right off the bat here. Thomas and Lincoln says, boo, Nick is here, but at least we got the great Jay Foreman, but he spelled your last name wrong. So how much of a fan is he really? Somebody said, good to hear Swim being called to the carpet. Bill and Bennett says, I think Nick just called you third string, Jay.
Yeah, he didn't have to. Bill, I appreciate that. Look, this has been a long time coming. I've been seeing it. What I'm real disappointed in, I know Austin's got bigger things to attend to this morning, but Austin's he's getting a little bit brand new too. Admit it. Admit it.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got that Duke swag on. Austin's walking with a little pep.
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
He absolutely is.
I peeped him out the other day when he was walking to his car. He's pimping a little bit.
I know, which, hey, you know what? Maybe he deserves to. Just had a second kid.
Yeah.
Life's going
Trying
well
to get him
for him
through the night. Yeah. I mean, you should.
Maybe Austin deserves to be upgraded.
You're going to give him some of your tips?
I don't have any. I didn't do anything. Be a nice person. That's all it took.
Nick, that's not you.
That's all it took at a That's all it took at the Renaissance Inn.
That's all it took. That's not what happened. Nebraska doesn't play up in Colorado anymore. When's the next time they play?
They don't have it scheduled.
No.
It's a good thing.
We need to get
don't.
Deion Sanders, and we need to get Coach Prime. We need to make that happen.
On the air?
We need to go back to Colorado. If that lady's still working, we're going to have a replay. How did this dude get upgraded to the King Suite?
She doesn't even remember. We're fine. Jay, how was your little two-bedroom?
Oh, that was so disrespectful when you walked in there. I said, this dude here, man, I swear to God, if I could have just DDT'd you right there.
Anyway, as I said, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Throughout the course of the show, AD expected to be back tomorrow. We expect AD to be back tomorrow. I will also be in tomorrow. So maybe one show this week we have it to where both of us are here. Now, obviously, AD and I were here. We're both on the show on Tuesday. I was just in Ann Arbor. Thankfully, no travel issues on the way back yesterday. We were able to get back smoothly, actually a little ahead of schedule. Shout out to our friends at the Lincoln Airport. They hooked us up, and it was a smooth flight from Detroit to Chicago. And then, Jay, I had to go from Chicago to Lincoln. But, Jay, I had to go from the let's see, we landed in the B gates.
And you had to go like E.
And we had to go to F.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a jaunt. It is about it was about a 25 to 30 minute walk, which we landed a couple minutes early, so it was all good. But it was a jaunt. I stopped by the Chili's in the O'Hare Airport yesterday afternoon, and I was like, all right, I got 45 minutes until I board. And so it was I had a couple of choices. I could go to a bar, or I could go to Chili's, and I chose Chili's. And so anyway, I stop in and stuff. And I asked them, I'm like, hey, I got to board in 40 minutes. Like, am I going to be good? And they're, oh, yeah, you got plenty of time. I thought I was going to have to dip on them at some point, because maybe without pain, with pain, I was going to try to leave partial cash, because they took my order. And about 15 minutes after I sat down, they took my order. And about 10 minutes after that, they come back and she goes, I think I might have misheard you. What did you order? And that's just secret for, I didn't put in your order yet. Yeah. Can you please repeat your order?
Right.
And it was about 5 minutes before I was supposed to board that they brought out my food. And I scarfed down some chicken tenders and fries, but it was a close call for the plane on the way back to Lincoln.
It's Chicago O'Hare, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where that it was my that airport officially put me in retirement. After after the NFL, I guess the first part they retire you. Then you kind of go through this like year or two where you're still in shape. You're getting some phone calls here and there. And I was traveling actually back to Nebraska. I was coming, and like one of those things where you can't land in like gate A and you got to go to E.
Yep.
And I had to, I had like 2 or 3 days of clothes in or whatever, backpack. And I had Air Jordan 3s on. And those things are like Timberlands.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cold, and I'm running through the airport and finally make it, just drenched in sweat. I mean, because it was a tight connection. When I tell you, I woke up, both hamstrings felt like they were pulled. And back was sore. I was like, yeah, man, you know what, man, your time has come, my brother.
Shim from Hallam says you go to Chili's and you get chicken strips and fries. Wow. Well, here's the deal. You got a flight to go. Like, you don't want anything that's going to give you.
Yeah, you don't want
any potential like gas starters. Like, you're not. Yeah. You're just trying to keep it low key.
Yeah,
you're trying to get some food in your system.
Up in the Airbus public number 2.
I don't do. I mean, text line can let us know. I don't do airplane bathrooms. Like, I just don't go to the bathroom on airplanes. I the only time I ever did was when I was flying over to Paris, and it was like
hold on, time out. Flying to Paris?
I was 17. Like
that's even worse.
It was a school thing.
Oh, okay.
And so we were over in Europe for 2 weeks, and we flew over to Paris from Atlanta, and that was like a red eye, like overnight type of thing, and it's like a 7 or 8 hour flight. And just naturally,
you'll hold it for like 10 hours.
Yeah, well, so over on that flight, I had to go.
For like
I was like,
hours?
yeah, I got it. Yeah. So if I,
you're like a little baby and stuff. We got to time out when you have water.
You just plan it. You just plan it. You got to figure like it's a thing. I will not. I can
understand if you don't want to drop a deuce at 30,000 feet cruising altitude in a little thing. I can understand.
I couldn't even tell you what an airplane bathroom looks like.
Anybody does that, that's a champion right there. That means you are anywhere, anytime, any place. But I don't know if we had a layover and we had a couple beers and I'm not holding it till I get to Nebraska.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if it's like an hour and a half, you can't hold it for an hour?
Oh, I can do it for an hour and a
That's
half.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A lot of connections anyway are like an hour and 5
But
minutes
the problem
from Lincoln.
is the thing that helps you is that you flew into Lincoln. Now, if you flew into like a big airport where you land on one side and you
100%.
And you gotta like
that's the problem with O'Hare. It was funny. So the where we normally, backed out of in like gate F or whatever, the F concourse with terminal, whatever it is. And they come over the intercom as we're getting ready to leave for Lincoln yesterday. And they're like, hey, by the way, normally we'd just be able to just back up and we'd be essentially just on the runway already that we need to depart from. But with construction at O'Hare, they're like, we got to go all the way around. It was an hour and 5 minute flight, but we were on the taxiway driving the airplane for 26 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it just adds the time to it. And I was like, it's just one of those things.
It's always something going on there.
But anyway, 402-464-5685. We got a question for you, Jay. Jay, are you guys dropping a deuce at Pinnacle Bank Arena or Memorial Stadium? Just curious.
Negative.
No,
Ghost Rider.
no, like
That
the
pattern
public
is full.
stuff is out.
Public number 2.
Yeah.
Unless it's a straight up emergency.
Yeah,
like
public
you
is
like you ate a bad hot dog. I won't do it.
No. You always got to be prepared. You got to always bring stuff. But
your day like when we're down at Pinnacle for basketball, how you eat is going to be how your day goes.
Oh, it plays a factor.
Yeah,
it plays a factor. And some of the stuff that they give
is suspect at best.
That is one thing I will say about the Michigan situation. The Michigan media food was delicious. Really had some roasted potatoes and grilled chicken breasts and some asparagus. The problem was that they ran out of water 20 minutes before the game started. So you walk down at halftime because it was a jaunt from the press box area up in like section 201, and you had to go down and everything. And I passed my good friend Nick Stauskas, who was calling the game. Not good friend. Nick Stauskas getting mad at folks on Twitter, by the way. But I heard you shout it out, Nick Stauskas, about the whole Twitter situation.
Yeah, he wasn't very good. I mean, I know how hard it is to call games and all that stuff, but I think you could have probably found another comparison for Price Sanford than yourself.
Well, the tough part was that you go and grab a Michigan guy to go broadcast one of the top games in Michigan last 5 years.
Yeah, you wanted to save on travel costs. You didn't want to fly anybody in. Hey, all right, we'll pay you miles.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, you go down there, and so like at halftime, Nebraska does a great job. I'll say this: Nebraska does a great job of refilling stuff. Michigan just said no, we're good.
What was better, Michigan or when we were at Indiana? Indiana
was fun.
Indiana was fun.
Indiana was. I would say this: the best one to this day has been Oklahoma. Oklahoma in 2021 was the best. Iowa, surprisingly, since it's a Black Friday day game, and it's the day after Thanksgiving, they usually do like brisket or prime rib.
Yeah.
And so they usually go a little more all out on that stuff. But the Oklahoma had Chick-fil-A, just endless amounts of Chick-fil-A for you.
Good. That's
back
good.
in 2021.
Yeah.
So Nebraska's got the red hot dogs and Valentino's pizza. So that's where we're at. But all right, anyway, let's go ahead and just take a break now. We'll take a break here in a few minutes, in just a second. When we come back, I want to get into Nebraska football schedule. You and Austin might have touched on this yesterday and
just
stuff.
a little bit.
But I do want to talk about Nebraska football schedule. We will talk Husker hoops, Nebraska women's basketball for a short time as well. They got the win over Northwestern. Yeah, they did over Northwestern last night without Jess Petrie available because of an illness. So I also want to dive into that a little bit. I asked Fred Hoiberg on Tuesday after the game. I asked him, I said, I said something along the lines of, obviously outside of injuries, you guys are dealing with some sickness. Like, how much of a concern is that to you? When we talk about things that can provide speed bumps in the season, sickness, injuries, things that are technically out of your control are sometimes the things that can quickly throw things off the tracks. We'll dive into all that and more throughout the course of the show. Jay Foreman's in for Aaron Davis today. AD at home under the weather, so we appreciate Jay stopping on in. Nick Standard back from Ann Arbor here. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal in a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G16518. 2,500 down with proof credit.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, snow possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see cloudy skies with calm winds and the high near 24. Tonight, a slight chance of snow. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies, a low around 11. And tomorrow, a continued slight chance of snow. Otherwise, probably sunny skies, be breezy and cold, the high near 17. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. This segment brought to you by our good friend Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services. Give Jack a call today and learn how he can protect what matters most to you. Jack, obviously a big proponent and supporter of Nebraska men's basketball, as well as the post-game show, as he is a part of that as well. And so we appreciate Jack and his partnership through all of us here at 93.7 The Ticket. Jay, we can push off the Husker football conversation just for a couple of segments, because the schedule is going to still be the schedule in the 10 o'clock hour. But I was thinking about,
some people wish it wasn't.
And Nebraska's is tough, but did you see Northwestern's?
Welcome back, Chip Kelly.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, Chip Kelly.
Hello, my friend.
And welcome back to another year of David Braun. Like, it's another situation, rough spot for David Braun, which we'll get to. But anyway, I talked to, we were asking Fred Hoiberg questions, obviously, in the post-game presser after they fell to Michigan. And there was a lot of the moral victory conversation, sure. And Fred, I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, has really, I don't want to say gotten defensive, but has been pretty confident and forthcoming with this type of, listen, guys, like, Nebraska's doing things that are just fine. Like, obviously, Nebraska is 20-1 and 9-1 in the Big Ten Conference now, and they're going to have a big game on Sunday against Illinois. But there's been a lot. One of the questions that he was asked was along the lines of moral victories and stuff, and how now you got Illinois and just kind of how do you go past it? And he kind of gets, I don't want to say he gets annoyed, because I don't think Fred gets like that, and it's not coming across as like you guys in the media and asking us questions are idiots. It's more so of like defending your team. And I think it's respectable, because he sits there and he'll go, listen, guys, we've had 3 consecutive games where we've had 2 days of prep. Finally, we get a third day of prep before Illinois. He's like, look, that's a team that is going, he kind of defends his team and goes, listen, guys, that was a team that's picked to win the national championship, and Nebraska was down 2 of their best players. And it's like, I think he's doing a lot of, let's step back and realize what is going on. Yeah. A lot of that this year, and especially in the last couple of weeks. And I noticed it after the Washington game, where he was like, look, guys, we just won by double digits over a Big Ten opponent to stay undefeated at that time. Like, isn't that good enough for you? And I think Nebraska fans this season, and as the season's progressed, Jay, I feel like we've done a good enough job of like enjoying the ride for just what it is.
Yeah. And then, I mean, look, it's, you have to, I mean, Fred's in a good spot, because obviously he's been there and done this before. But then also, I think in this vacuum where you're really, as I imagine the basketball coverage has grown since they've grown as a program, and how successful they've been, but then also football's over. And, volleyball was a little bit of a disappointment. And so this is exceeding expectations. And sometimes when you go from the hunter to the hunted and the expectations change, you forget how far you've came. You got to think back to last year, not obviously getting into the Big Ten tournament. And then obviously this whole run kickstarted with the Crown.
Yeah.
And what it took to, get it started and then change teams, get into the portal, wasn't very active. Obviously not having the resources that your opponents that you've already beaten, one of them being Illinois, especially with Michigan, you took them to, you essentially were leading, 36 out of the 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And other teams that are probably, spent more money on their roster. And he's like, hey, man, pump the brakes. Look, this is the Big Ten. We're going to get Washington's best shot versus Washington's like, oh, we'll just go and play Nebraska. Washington came down here with something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
So let's also be realistic and in the moment, enjoy it and probably appreciate what we're doing. But also let's not nitpick and off their double-digit victory. That probably was a little bit more because you got to think via our E9 text message, we had a turnover and gave them a couple, easy buckets. So it went from 10 or 14 to 10. Correct?
The little backdoor cover.
Yeah.
Little backdoor cover by the Washington Huskies.
So let's not sit up here and act like Nebraska didn't handle their business. And Fred's well aware, what it takes. And also you got to breathe some confidence in your team and keep breathing confidence into your program. Because look, no matter what, when you've won as much as they won for that many games in a row, and you can look at who they played and all this other stuff, they've competed and won. When you lose, it is different. You haven't felt that in a long time. And so now you got to really get them back focused, because if you kind of, get into the moral victory or worry about the rest then call, then here comes Illinois that's looking for a little bit of payback in their game opponent. You got a hot freshman coming in. You got, Stojakovic that's going to be, the NBA draft choice. And they got all types of potential NBA and pro players. So you got to get ready. And then also you got to get your team ready, because you got things you got to, work on. Is Braden Frager going to be around? And then obviously with Rink in his health.
I think, like you mentioned all the NBA guys and stuff. It's somewhat encouraging, I would say, going into Sunday, because nothing's changed. Like nothing changes. Not big picture wise in terms of standings, but I'm saying like there's been Nebraska's faced NBA guys this season, and it hasn't
that
changed.
Ain't nothing.
Nebraska's faced rosters that are valued at much higher NIL levels than they are, and that doesn't change anything. And so I think you can look at that from multiple angles and say, okay, that's a big reason why it gives you encouragement as to why this thing it's not even off the tracks, but if it is slightly off because of a loss, it can get right back on, right?
Yeah.
And maybe not even it's off the tracks because of the loss. It's off the tracks because you're missing key guys.
Yeah.
Like the nucleus of your team is somewhat broken to a certain degree with situations out of your control.
Yeah, and you got to look, championships aren't easy. It's not, they very rarely do you just go, and just blow through the season and don't have any adversity, whether it's what people know on the outside or internal, adversity. And this is by chance. You got one of your better players, if not you're definitely your most seasoned and veteran player, and the guy that's a captain on your team, that was down with an illness, 2 games, a little bit in Minnesota, right? That's what you started to hear, right? And then obviously last game against Michigan. So that's out of your control. So you got to go and just coach the same. They competed it. It showed it really didn't affect them being down 2 of your more reliable and obviously counted on players. And so when they tee it up again, come Sunday, it's going to be rinse and repeat. I think the standard of what Fred and these guys have taken upon themselves, whenever they decided this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And this is everybody in there, from Coach Nate, Fred, was it Ernie?
Yep.
And the support staff, the scouting staff, and whoever else is with the basketball program.
Pat Monahan, the new assistant. Yeah.
Luca.
Yep.
Right. They all decided this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
This year. And so when they face challenges, they've already built their belief long time ago. So when they step on the court, they're going to come out there and compete. They feel like they can play against anybody, NBA players or not. And really that doesn't mean anything, because I was talking to a friend. I was like, look, everybody's like, oh, well, Nebraska's going to need. We've had the thing where we've had guys that came in at 5 stars and all that. you need obviously those type of players, right? And obviously Price is starting to get some NBA looks, but you also need guys that end up going and playing or have the option to go play pros, right?
Mhm.
And a good example is this. I was just like, he was I think he was a really good player that didn't get enough credit for how consistent and good he was when he was here. Was Glenn Watson. I used to call him Baby Watt because I played with a guy named Chris Watson. And he's been playing pros ever since he left. But you never hear about him anymore, right? It's like a guy that was like a bridge guy or a real staple in the program. He came in as a highly recruited kid from, I think, Chicago. Started and played a lot as a freshman all the way through his senior year. And he was a walking bucket by the time he left. And that's a guy that you could have on our program, with the guys that they have. I'm thinking about maybe Jamarcus Lawrence or somebody like that have the option to go play pros. And you're like, man, that team was actually a lot better than people gave it credit for in the real time.
So a little bit of news. We know, this is shaping up to be a big recruiting weekend for Nebraska basketball. They're going to have a couple of 5-stars on campus. They're going to have a couple of 4-stars. How about this one? Joe Tipton, who is basically the Pete Nakos of college basketball for On3. He just tweeted out just a couple of minutes ago that 4-star forward, I'm gonna try to pronounce this correctly, Matthias Alisanko will take an official visit to Nebraska this weekend. How about this? The 6'8" small forward from Brazil is the top international prospect in the 2026 class.
That's awesome. And
coming into Lincoln Sunday. So now, you have a couple of 5-stars. Ahmad Hudson, I believe, is one of them. Obviously, the dual sport guy with football is one of them. Now you have Alisanko as the top international prospect visiting Nebraska. You have a wideout as well. This feels like on Sunday, Jay, the equivalent to the USC football game.
Yeah, and they got was it Landon Dada?
Yeah,
Dada.
London
Dada coming from Omaha West Side.
That's right.
They got a pretty good. This is what happens when you become high profile or higher profile, and it's all built on the work. And you talk about it with football. That's what happens. You win games. You win big time games. You beat big time opponents. More people want to see what you got going on. I think Luca does a really good job, which I think is what Fred's GM, right?
Yeah.
Has the experience of kind of scouting international players. I think Fred has done a really good job with international players, Rick Mass being one of them. Obviously not from Brazil, but, when you bring over international players, I think you want to obviously have a game plan for them and where they can be successful. And then obviously with the other ones, Ahmad Hudson's a little bit different. It's going to be a tall tale for him to try to be a dual sport athlete in college with the physical demands of football and basketball, because they kind of coincide, and it's been done before with Julius Peppers and some other guys, but Julius Peppers is in Canton right now, so not saying that he can't do it, but I think for this day and age, it obviously it'd be a little bit hard. But he's a really, really good basketball player, obviously a really talented football player as well. But the more that you can get guys boots on the ground to see PBA on a whiteout against Illinois, see how Fred coaches, seeing the staff, seeing the players, talk to the players, especially with this team, should pay off. And I think it's really good because it also lets you know that potentially they get a little bit of a, uptick in NIL or whatever it is that they need to recruit guys outside of rev share.
So in addition to those guys visiting, the other 5-stars, 6'8" power forward Dawson Batty from St. Mark's High School in Texas. He is the 7th best player in the 2027 class, has offers currently from Kentucky, Auburn, Houston, LSU, Maryland, Missouri, Nebraska, obviously Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Virginia. And so there's the other 5-star that's unofficially visiting Nebraska this weekend. So it's a good list. It's a good list, and Nebraska fans are going to do their part. The other part, before we went down that recruiting side, I was going to mention that I brought up sickness to Fred Hoiberg after the game on Tuesday night, and he kind of just kind of looked at me, and he didn't. I wouldn't say he blew me off or scoffed at me, but it was more so of like, oh, I think everybody's dealing with it. He was saying I'm dealing with a little head cold, like Sam's dealing with it, has been since Minnesota. Rink's going through it. He said Rinks is a stomach thing, and he said I think everybody's not just on Nebraska's team, but everybody in the country's going through it. I mean,
Jay,
like that. Jay, okay, so why? Why do you like that?
Because It's facts, right? It's a known, right? Everybody, you're not the only one. I think
Yeah.
sometimes you can like talk yourself like you're the only one that's sick, or that he doesn't want any of that "woe is me, poor is me"
Sure.
attitude coming in. And I can't speak for him, but I just go from experience. And also, at some point in time, like life's about doing things when it's uncomfortable. That's what playing basketball, playing up in Michigan, whether you want to look at the environment, some of the missed calls, some of the borderline trying to like be a little bit cheap or whatever.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable. So what's the difference then? You being a little sick. Now we have to recognize it because we got to support you and help you get healthy. But we're not the only team. It'd be different if Nebraska's the only team, documented, factual, that has a couple guys sick, including
Sure.
their head coach. So that's what he's trying to really say. Listen, it's factual, but when we're dealing with basketball, let's deal with basketball, and that's one of the best things that you can do, because there's been plenty of guys that have been heroes, the Michael Jordan flu game and all that, and sure it does affect you, but then also it's a great opportunity for like Curtis and guys can potentially step up. How much confidence could he have gained? Now, granted, was it a perfect game? But if you have to throw him in there or Sunday, he should feel a little bit more comfortable because he hadn't played.
You
all
should
year.
feel comfortable,
right? You should,
like as the staff,
right? And they're having 3 days of prep.
Yeah,
kind of watch yourself on film. Oh, I can do that a little bit better and get more practice time. Kind of put you into, if Rink's practice, and then he'd be on like emergency, but he might have to spell Rink, just a little bit. You feel way more comfortable, and then you just extended your bench, and then you're good a little bit more probably for Garcia. So I think it's a good attitude to have to really kind of keep everything black and white, keep this team laser focused. Because when you're trying to strive for bigger things that people even know of outside of the program, the laser like focus really works.
Yeah, Nebraska basketball Sunday 3 p.m. against Illinois. Illinois hosts Washington later on tonight as well, and so that's a midweek game if you're curious and want to watch it for your viewing pleasure. Washington travels to Illinois. Illinois will probably handle the Huskies, but once again, this is now a Big Ten as you are going to quickly realize we're going to fly through February. We flew through January, right? January's already almost over. February 1st is on Sunday. Here's the deal. After February 1st, you have Illinois on the 1st, obviously. You have Rutgers in the midweek, and then you have Purdue on February 10th. After that, though, it's like not just these games, but it's essentially Iowa, Northwestern, the West Coast trip to USC, UCLA, and then back home against Iowa. And that's your regular season. That's it.
Yeah.
And so quickly you're going to come down the chute here, and Nebraska's frankly right where they want them, right? Like if Nebraska ends up winning on Sunday, right now, yeah, they're number 2 in the Big Ten standings because they don't have the head-to-head over Michigan. However, Michigan has a very tough test Friday at Michigan State. Michigan State is playing some exceptional basketball right now. Michigan will have to play them twice. Michigan still has to play Purdue. Michigan still has to play Iowa. Michigan's schedule lines up a lot tougher than yours does. But if you just take care of business,
you don't have to worry about it.
Jay, like this is the biggest thing that I've kind of pointed out consistently these last couple of days. Nebraska, at this time, usually of the season, on January 29th, we're sitting here saying, all right, this is what you need to do to play into having
a first
round bye in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
Or to be on the bubble and maybe get safer from being on the bubble. None of that's the case. Like it's the conversations we're having now are you control your destiny. That's the buzzword phrase for college football fans, is like you control your destiny for a regular season Big Ten championship.
Yeah, and that's this growth in the program. They kind of been working towards that, and obviously the ability to refocus and reshape and learn from some of the mistakes of last year, and then obviously really hone in and have a team that has the components to kind of get you going where you want to. A little bit older group, obviously, and that helps out. Allows you to be in a more of a pole position and not of a wait and see position, and that's a difference. And it does take a different mentality to be in this spot, and that's what he's working on by some of the things that maybe he's brushing off, but obviously keeping the media and fans in check because he's trying to put this thing to hammer down.
Yeah.
He sees opportunity, and Fred's he's a competitor, obviously, and competitors when they see blood in the water, they're going to go for it, and he's going to try to push these guys to it.
All right, there it is. When we come back, Nebraska women's basketball beats Northwestern last night in a fairly smooth game. Nebraska shot the lights out of the basketball despite Jess Petrie not being in the lineup. We'll do that into some history to close out the 9 o'clock hour. Then 10 o'clock hour, we are going to get into the football schedule because I have some thoughts on it. I have some also thoughts on the rest of the conference and their scheduling decisions there. Once again, Jay Foreman sitting in for Aaron Davis, Nick Sander alongside here. It's The Drive 93.7, The Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184. 2,500 down with proof credit.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, snow possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see cloudy skies with calm winds and the high near 24. Tonight, a slight chance of snow. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies, a low around 11. And tomorrow, a continued slight chance of snow. Otherwise, probably sunny skies, be breezy and cold. The high near 17. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sports Show. Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Sports Show. Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines. Now boarding. Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to the Spring Equipment and Technology Clinic February 3rd through the 5th at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney. New this year, the planter and sprayer clinics are combined into one streamlined, hands-on event built around growers' time and needs. Get expert training on John Deere planters and sprayers on topics including maintenance, technology, and autonomy. Don't miss it, February 3rd through the 5th in Kearney. Visit landmarkimp.com/events for details.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crowes. Blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crowes. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
Now back to the Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. It is a Thursday for you. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman. Here as we get ready to round out the 9 o'clock hour with a quick segment. Nebraska women's basketball last night. They take care of business at home against the Northwestern Wildcats. Haley Weaver's old team. They win 89-73 last night over the Wildcats. The Huskers now improve to 16-5 overall, ahead of a very tough stretch coming up for the Huskers. They're going to have to face on the road at Ohio State this Sunday, at Michigan next Wednesday, and then they return home for a home game against Maryland on the following Saturday. So it is going to be a tough stretch coming up for the Huskers, who they'll be fine. They're going to get their chance at the NCAA tournament. But once again, one of the biggest humps, Jay, that Nebraska's really tried to get over these last couple of years is to get out of the round of 64. I mean, yeah, it's next. Like, I think it's okay once again to have these expectations of, okay, the expectation is to get to the NCAA tournament, which Amy Williams has done a fine job doing in her 10 years already of being here. But then it's also, all right, what's the next step? Yeah. And it feels like it's been a while since Nebraska's really had a run at an NCAA tournament. You know, I should say stretch of games.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because, you know, obviously it's really top heavy. Obviously, you got South Carolina, UConn, et cetera. And then when you get there, it's all like styles make fights. Like when they went and they played Oregon State, and then like 2 or 3 of those young ladies end up transferring to USC.
That's right.
And obviously those are next level players. And then obviously when you go through the Big Ten, it gets you battle hardened, but it can wear you out when you go and you play teams that you're not familiar with. And so I think it's more, you know, it's a combination of things, right? Taking the next step. All right. You had Jazz Shelley and all those guys. And that kind of was that course, right? That was kind of like your first coming out party. Remember how they were playing so well? They were beating ranked teams. And it took like a month before they actually got ranked. Yeah. Right. And then next thing you know, it's the NCAA tournament. And then last year, I felt like it was a learning experience, right? It was a little bit different. You know, Widener was hurt, and then obviously Britt Prince was a freshman. And so this year, I think, is a year that they really make their mark. They've battled, and obviously they went through a stretch playing some really good teams, showed themselves well. And then obviously when you go through the thick of things in the Big Ten, you're going to have to become, ready. And so with a young team like this, I think you have a better chance because I wouldn't say any scar tissues there, but I think every game's a learning lesson, even when it's a loss or a win.
I will say this. I mean, you look at the losses, 4 of the 5, I would say are high quality losses. If you want to call them that, they're to 17th ranked USC, 14th ranked Iowa, 4th ranked UCLA, and 15th ranked Michigan State. The only loss that they have that's to an unranked opponent is on the road at Wisconsin, one that probably let slip away. You let both the Michigan State game and the Wisconsin game kind of get away from you for Nebraska at that point. And so you're able to bounce back from those two, win 2 straight in Illinois and Northwestern. Now you go on the road to Ohio State and Michigan. And so a couple of tough ones, but I mean, once again, Nebraska is they're going to be in the tournament, right? But I think you look at this roster and there's a couple of really intriguing young pieces. Obviously, Britt Prince is one of them. Maya Hargrove is another. They have a top, 3 top 80 players coming in this year's recruiting class for next season. So there's a lot to be excited about for Amy Williams and this Nebraska women's basketball team. But man, the Big Ten Conference, similar to it is on the men's side, it is a gauntlet on the women's side. And don't forget, the men's coaches all voted that all 18 teams get into the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
It's not that case on the women's side. They actually voted against it and said that they don't want all 18 teams to be into it. So I believe it's the top 14 for the women's side of the basketball standings are moved on to the Big Ten conference tournament. So that's just something to keep in mind as those conference tournaments come closer in the early parts of March. Okay, when we come back, let's dive in to Nebraska football's schedule. Who are the home games, the road games, and just how are our general thoughts over it? How are we feeling on Nebraska football in 2026? We'll dive into that coming up to start the 10 o'clock hour. You can always chime into the show, 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line. Feel free to comment on the YouTube stream as well, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Cable Channel 961, the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. Hour 2 of the show comes up next.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crows. Blue-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crows. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all of the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today. A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Führer's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Don't miss the family show of outdoor fun, the 57th Annual Boat Sport and Travel Show, January 30th to February 1st at the Sandhills Global Event Center. RVs, boats, docks, golf carts, resorts, fishing lures, family entertainment, and more. See exotic animals at Wildlife Encounters. Enjoy the petting zoo and the balloon lady. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Bring the neighbors. See you there.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostreiter. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out.
Three ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good.
It's on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Standard alongside Jay Foreman with you. 402-464-5685. The Honda Lincoln Hotline and the Starter Heyman text line open for you guys the rest of the way here, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Cable Channel 961. Teased it in the first hour. We decided to go down the basketball route in the second segment, so we push it now to this segment. Nebraska football learned of their schedule a couple of days ago. I think was it officially unveiled Tuesday night, I believe. Tuesday it was officially unveiled, and Nebraska, we knew it. We knew the teams. We didn't necessarily know the layout of the teams, but now we do. In this order, Nebraska will play in week 1, Ohio, Bowling Green, North Dakota, and then Michigan State, Maryland, Indiana, Oregon, a bye, Washington, Illinois, Rutgers, Ohio State, and Iowa. Now, Jay, initial thoughts from you on the schedule. Nebraska got 2 bye weeks in 2025. Next year, they will only get 1. It comes at a pretty opportune time when you're probably going to be pretty beaten up after 8 consecutive games and before you finish off the last 5 games of the season. But the non-conference slate, not too daunting. But man, once that Indiana matchup starts in week 6, it's gonna be on and popping for Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough schedule, no doubt. I think we knew this, obviously, whenever we saw, you didn't know the time and the obviously, you knew when you're going to play some teams home and away. It's a tough schedule no matter what. And so now it just puts them in the reality of how many games you play before a bye week. When do you play back-to-backs? Obviously, the thing that shines the most is obviously that Indiana, Oregon, back-to-back, one's home, one's away. So because it's a, long trip. I mean, that's obviously a trip that you might have to think about leaving on Thursday just to get acclimated after, would probably be a tough game against Indiana. Then you play, Washington, which is a team that you're probably looking right at. You're seeing what they have, where they're going to be at with Damon Williams coming back with the loss of, 2 or 3 guys to the pros. But it's a, litmus test game as well. So it's not an easy road. There is a path to success, meaning, everybody can always look at a schedule and look at the big 3, right? The big 3 is, obviously got Ohio State late in the year, which could be your advantage if it's really, really cold.
The week before they play the game.
Week before they play the game, week before we play Iowa. So, look, they're going to come in ready and motivated, or they could come in half asleep. And then the Oregon and obviously Indiana games. But all the other games, just like every single year, are games that, whether they're toss-ups or Nebraska will be favored to win or should win. And so 9 of those games, you need to handle your business. Now, is there upstart team? Sure. Is there teams that you can't look over? By no means necessary. But, look, you start off 3 games, non-conference. You got to get off to a good start. The first game, I think, is the toughest out of the 3.
I would agree.
Considering that how Ohio played against UNLV in the tradition and winning that they've had. So you got to come ready to, be prepared. And your first road game is going to be no joke either, because as much as Michigan State has a new coach in Pat Fitzgerald, they will have 3 weeks and 3 games to kind of get their ducks in a row. Yeah. And they have that freshman quarterback that obviously gives you problems. And he has more resources. You got LeVar Woods. They have the whole offseason just like we do. And then also the one thing that people don't understand, the first year of a coach with the holdover guys and the new guys that come in, whether it's the portal in high school, you're going to get their maximum effort, their maximum attention to detail, and they're going to be on their best behavior.
I was to say, is that simply to see it's survival of the fittest on who stays in year 2?
Yeah, and I mean, because year 2 guys get comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I've done it. You've done well, and you can see the little bit of a downturn. It's just no different. And when you come in as a rookie in the NFL, they don't know anything about you, and then you kind of take the league by storm. How do you deal with success, and do you let your standard of excellence dip down some? So every game is going to be tough. Look, this is a path that we kind of created for ourselves. That's why this year was a really big year to kind of get ahead of schedule as far as in the win-loss column.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But the reality is you can't change last year. You only can learn from it. So what you take from last year and the learning experiences with a brand new quarterback, you're going to have a new running back or running backs, revamped offensive line, and pretty much a brand new defense, and also brand new special teams and a special teams coordinator without your all Big Ten returner.
Yeah.
So there is things that you have to remedy, but there's a lot, those are the knowns, right? Now you have to be, the players should be saying, okay, you're an option at this role or this group of has to, play well. Now you have to become answers.
Yeah.
This is not going to be, this can't be the same all season because as last year is because you have to work. The lights need to be off. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because there's so many unknowns. You got a brand new quarterback that's coming up from UNLV. He's making a big jump, whether he realizes it or not. Like, don't get like kind of, drunk off the sauce of the first 3 games. Because that's kind of like the level that he's at. When you get Big Ten with Pat Fitzgerald and you starting off with him with defensive oriented coach, you're gonna get hit like you never been hit before.
That's the one that I don't want to say that that's going to be Nebraska's toughest road game, but I think circumstance-wise, it's right up there.
It'll be a booby trap.
Because, hey, man, Pat Fitzgerald back in the Big Ten Conference and at a place that I don't want to say Northwestern doesn't invest into football.
They don't.
But not compared to the way not compared to the way Michigan State does or other Big Ten schools.
By no means. Not even now.
I mean, look, I was up in Evanston 2 weeks ago. That place sucks. Chicago's great. Evanston, there's nothing. And it makes it, for me, more respectable what Pat Fitzgerald was able to do there. So for so many years.
Yeah.
And then now what David Braun's been able to do there for a couple of years. And I don't know, you look at Nebraska and now's not the time for the whole, hey, what do you think the record's going to be? But Jay, I think it is okay to sit there and say, there's a couple of games here that we could be sitting there, a couple of games into the conference slate and going, okay, things are getting a little uncomfortable. And I think it's okay for us to acknowledge that here, even though it's January 29th.
It could be. And then on the other side, it could be, okay, we handled our business.
Yeah, 100%.
Your first road game is you're going up into the woodshed, as like Mel Tucker used to call it, and you're going up there against by nature Michigan State, and they they call themselves the Sparty Dogs and all that. They're going to be physical. They're going to play to a standard even before Fitzgerald even got there. So you're going to add him on. So you got to get off that plane in East Lansing ready for a dogfight and be willing to go, harder and longer than they can withstand. So you're going to learn a lot about your team, how guys travel, because you got a bunch of new guys.
Yeah.
You got a new defensive coordinator that's kind of, you only get 3 games to kind of look at this new Michigan State type. But now you can go back and study old Northwestern because he's bringing, his coordinator. But you got these different type of athletes. And so everybody's kind of on a, learning curve. And that's where like Coach Rule and his experience is going to be, and Dana as well, is going to maybe try to be able to calm the waters. Now, what has to happen is through winter conditioning, which I'm assuming they're in right now, and then obviously in the spring ball and everything else going forward, true leadership has to come forward. And the leadership that you need is the guys that'll do the little things, the guys that'll be obviously hold you accountable, lift you up when you're, down, but then obviously encourage you to, go on to bigger and better things. I mean, and keep, doing good things. That has to emerge, along with, since you have a new team, the coaches have to do a good job of keeping the guardrails on the guys.
Yeah.
Because this offseason is long and you can get distracted even in a town of 300,000 in Lincoln.
Are there any guys that stand out to you in terms of early leaders? I mean, because I'm sure like the quarterback's going to be one of them.
Well, he's going to have to, and depending on what type of leader he is, I mean, obviously he's going to be, the good thing for him, he's got 3 offensive linemen coming in. You got a couple holdovers, so Justin Evans for sure.
Yeah.
And then your quarterback has to be, and that's really all that can be on this. When you look at offense, now there's other guys as well, but your quarterback's already, by just position. A little bit of it, he has a bigger personality from what it looks like. And then Evans is kind of the dude. He's a tough guy. So he's going to be setting the standard in the offensive line, which will hopefully bleed out to the rest of the offense. The bigger question is on defense.
Yeah.
Is it going to be, Chambliss, right? Or is it going to be Vincent Shavers? Is it going to be potentially Cam Linhart? Is it going to be Riley Van Poppel? Who is it going to be? That because those are kind of like, I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Yeah,
those are the guys that it could or should be.
Andrew Marshall.
It's a little bit harder for an outside guy,
sure,
to do it because you're just not in the mix. But he could lead that back, 4 or 5 guys.
Because now you're going to be without Deshaun and Marquise on that backside too.
Yeah, and Sierra Wright,
who's playing really well.
Yeah, he's had a really good.
Really well.
He's had a really good, all-star game, underwear Olympics. Initial. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Off season, he's making himself some money.
Can we agree that when you
Jaden
look at
Wright's gone too.
Yeah, and Jaden
Wright
Wright
made some plays.
Can we and Keona, who is out there at least.
Well, he's at Miami now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But Keona's gone.
Yeah.
And so at least somebody that was out there consistently.
Sure, yeah.
Can we agree the defensive side of the ball is the more worrisome of the two?
Oh, well, for sure. I mean, whether whatever the circumstances, your good defensive coordinator is gone. Now you have a new defensive coordinator.
Like I think maybe
just it's a new defensive scheme. So, but you don't have any bell cows because you were already young last year.
Yeah.
And so now you're young again just because you're in a new system. Now you can fast forward that based on, if it's because I think like the 4-man front, the guy's got to go play well, but the 4-man front can really expand your defensive prowess as far as playmaking ability because you got Williams Nowhere, you got Cam Linhart, okay, you got Riley Van Poppel, and then you got the couple of the transfers maybe at the other defensive tackle. Then you got, you really uploaded on linebackers. So just on that first and second level, if done right and all those guys prepare the right way, you could have a better chance to withstand that Penn State game, withstand that Iowa game, withstand that Utah game. And so, but there is more unknowns. There is unknowns. They don't have anybody that's, it's hard because I could say the quarterback's going to come in and obviously he's going to start, but now, TJ Lateef started. Now, granted, I'm sure that if there's a difference in the contracts, then that's the choice that they made. There's just too many unknowns because you're losing a lot on defense and you struggle at the end of the year.
Can we have a conversation about TJ Lateef real quick? I wasn't planning to go down this road.
Well, I think it's important not to
forget about him.
Forget about him.
And that's the weird thing.
He was a true freshman last year.
And here's the honest truth. They didn't need to have him play. Like they could have thrown, if they were worried about preserving TJ Lateef's red shirt, they could have kept him within the 4-game rule. They could have allowed Jalen Gramstad to go out there for a game. They could have thrown whoever, right? You could have, we've seen going back to the Frost regime where they would throw Andrew Bunch out there and then just run the ball as much as they could. Like you could do things to where maybe it's not your best foot forward, but understanding that, hey, you know what, we want to preserve TJ's red shirt. And I'm saying I think that they made the right call to just say screw it. But I think that there is something to be said about what is if you are TJ Lateef, initially they were bringing in a guy that had multiple years remaining. Now, ultimately, Calandria only has 1 year remaining of eligibility. But you also have Trey Taylor, who's essentially the Dylan Raiola of 2027.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah, well, it's not.
I'm not talking about the move to Nebraska. I'm talking about social media presence. I'm talking about peer recruiting presence. I'm talking about the way that he's connected to the coaches and the program already. That is the Dylan Raiola of 2027 for Nebraska.
Yeah, you don't know exactly what, sometimes you can say, especially, listen, he's young. You can just, you can look at him and tell him he's really young. And sometimes, when you're not savvy, sometimes you can say some things and not really mean it. But the perception is essentially, from what he's saying, and which might not be reality because ultimately you got to spot the ball and you got to earn it.
Yeah. And who knows what the contract terms are? Like,
sure.
Like there's other details
from what
like that
he's saying,
too.
it could be assumed, and by what he's saying, it could be perceived. He's like, "Oh, I'm starting as a freshman."
Yeah.
So for TJ, like he's a competitor. And the one thing, even though, it was a little bit of tough sledding later on in the year, he'll grow from that. I mean, I know a little bit of him. I watched him from afar, and you could just, what he's made of. He's going to put his best foot forward. It's not a foregone conclusion that he's just going to be there, holding the, the pen and pad this year and not be out there competing and thinking that he can't start. Because look, he can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Number one, when healthy, he can run it. And then also he has a little bit of swagger about him. And then also the team believes in him. The one thing about him that people didn't give him enough credit for, if you had to compare him and Dylan, he throws a better deep ball than Dylan right now, or it did.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Klanger is going to come in and he's has experience. And so just on paper, you think he has the leg up. But if TJ goes and does his thing and you're into a quarterback battle, they're both going to play. And that's what TJ's going to, probably hope for. I mean, it's been done around here. You had Bobby Newcomb and Eric Crouch. Crouch ended up beating him out. Next thing you know, he's, hoisting the Heisman. And then that would delay everything. So TJ's, got to live in the moment. But I think sometimes when you get a guy that comes in from the transfer portal and they already thought they had Minchie, that some of the guys on the right, and this is anything, whether it's the linebacker room, whether you're Shavers, and they brought in, 2 guys that had starting experience, right? You only play 2 linebackers. They brought in 2 starters, one that's connected to the defensive coordinator, one that started a whole bunch of games up there at Oregon State. Then you brought in a guy that's more of a development from Iowa State. But if I'm Shavers, if I'm Bauer, if I'm Dawson Merritt, I'm definitely, obviously aware of the situation, but I also know that you still got to beat me out. And, it's no different than when I was here won the starting spot. They brought in, who ended up being one of my best friends, is Tony Ortiz, came in as the USA Today Defensive Player of the Year. He was the number 1 recruit on defense. You're going to have competition. So I think the coaches are trying to just roll the ball out there and see who can, fight for it. Now the contracts we've seen that with Emmett and what's the Dowdell or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to outplay, the circumstances and it all work itself out.
I want to get back to the schedule conversation in one moment, but just a reminder as we close out this segment, Nebraska's road games at Michigan State, at Oregon, at Illinois, at Rutgers, and they go to Kinnick.
Which one are you going to, Upgrade?
I don't know. The only one that I'm real interested in is the Oregon one, simply because I think Autzen would be cool to visit out in Eugene. How about you?
Probably Eugene.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a popular destination for Nebraska
State would
fans.
be fun because it's not. It's East Lansing's a nice campus.
Ann Arbor was interesting. It was fine.
It was.
You kind of just. I didn't know what to expect from the Big House. The Chrysler Center was great.
Yeah, Big House is a letdown for me.
You could tell that the Chrysler Center is like an area that they. First of all, you could tell Michigan's a basketball school. Like they invest in basketball. Like they had these, as little as this sounds and as stupid as this sounds, they had these like lights that flashed along the stairwells, on the stairwells, that like on the railings. They had lights and they were all choreographed to whatever was going on. Every time Michigan made a bucket, every single light around the stairwell would flicker. Yeah. Like little details like that. I'm a big fan experience guy. Everybody knows this about me. People get mad at me because I talk about fan experience all the time. I think Nebraska has a really cool arena. I feel like it's gotten better over the last couple of years. I think there's still room to improve, especially when we're fortunate enough to go out and see a lot of road venues at times. You can kind of pick around. Now, with that being said, Troy Dannon was there. He was sitting right behind Zach Taylor, right behind the Nebraska bench on Tuesday night. And so, those are things that he can also pick up on and go, maybe this is something we can incorporate down the road. So
Eugene is the only place you're going. You're not going to go out to, is it Parsippany?
No.
Is that
Piscataway?
Piscataway.
I have zero interest. I usually make the 4-hour drive to Iowa City. I have the last 2 times they played there. Come away with a win one time, came away with a loss the other time. So I don't know. The Illinois game is intriguing to me. Not to go see it. We talked about a team that underperformed expectations this year. Illinois is a team that wildly underperformed.
From Big Ten Media Day, they were kind of like they
were top 10.
Yeah, bell of the ball, and they dropped the ball.
It did not, especially with an experienced quarterback, right? Especially with an experienced quarterback. Luke Altmaier was there, and still were unable to to live up to the expectations. Let's step aside. When we come back, I do want to talk about Northwestern's schedule because not only does it shape up tough for some road matchups, but they will have an early bye week, and then it's just
grind.
Week 3 to week 13, you're playing. So here we go. We'll talk about that and some other things when we come back on the Drive 93.7 The Ticket.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It happens. All of a sudden, you need a plumber. Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Problem solved with Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
It takes hard work to make Nebraska the right place to raise a family, build a business, or grow a community. We're counting on working parents to make it happen, and they're counting on childcare professionals to have their backs. Employers and other contributors can earn up to $100,000 tax credit for strengthening childcare in our communities and state. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends. Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Most resolutions for the new year fail before January is even over. Why not resolve to just be a little bit cleaner in 2026? Nebraska Auto Detail is here for you. Now through March 30th, if you purchase a ceramic coating, you'll get a free interior detail. There's no better way to start your year than taking care of your car and decluttering the mess that it becomes so easily. Book your detail today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call Joe and the team at 402-601-5086.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman, who's filling in for AD today. We'll see if AD is able to make it back tomorrow. He's a little under the weather. Last night he texted me, and so we appreciate AD fighting through it yesterday morning. But today, so I told him to stay home today. That's the honest truth. We were talking Nebraska schedule in the first segment of the 10 o'clock hour. And I wanted to just mention that, I don't know what Northwestern did to the Big Ten Conference, Jay. I don't know if they've got something on Tony Petitti or what the deal is. But Nebraska is fortunate. They have a tough schedule, sure. It's not maybe the toughest in the Big Ten Conference, but they have a tough schedule with road games against Oregon and Illinois and Iowa, and then home games against Indiana and Ohio State, and Michigan State on the road is in there as well. But when you look at Northwestern, they have their schedule line up this way: South Dakota State in week 1, bye in week 2, and that is it. They have games every single week from week 3 to 13. That is 11 straight weeks. 11 straight weeks of football games without a bye, and their schedule isn't necessarily the easiest either. No. They will host Colorado, but then they have to play Indiana
at Indiana,
Penn State at home. They get a little bit of a softer week 6 against Ball State, but then it's Michigan State, Rutgers, Oregon, Iowa, Ohio State, Minnesota, Illinois.
Man, you better start off 2-0. Try to upset Penn State, which is could happen, right?
Potentially. Essentially, it's Iowa State.
Iowa State. Then you gotta beat Ball State, and then if you could really, win one of the next two at Michigan State, Rutgers, and then obviously towards the end you got Minnesota and Illinois. And in that last game against Illinois, that's a rivalry game.
I mean, Jay, they're going to be, let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after they've played 6 consecutive games, which is relatively normal, right? Okay, I have 5 more to go without a break, without a weekend off. But it's not like you get Rutgers and South Dakota State in those weeks. You have Oregon on the road, Iowa, Ohio State on the road, Minnesota on the road, and at home against Illinois.
Man, listen, a couple years ago, David Brown was the talk of the Big Ten.
Yes,
how they exceeded expectations. They went to actually a bowl game and beat Utah. This is the payback that he gets. Schedule maker, the guy that's came in and obviously steadied the waters after the scandal with the hazing and everything, and this is the thanks that he gets. This is the schedule that you come. South Dakota State, listen, they are for real.
That's that annoying Thursday night opener that Minnesota's had some trouble with in the past.
Minnesota Open, I call it.
But South Dakota State comes on down. Dan Jackson about to bring the Jackrabbits to you.
Yeah, and he recruits big into Nebraska, but that's not a easy layup. You got to expect Colorado's going to be somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
Right. And so as much as you like to be 2-0, you could be 0-2, and then here come Kirk Cignetti and the Hoosiers. Nick, do you remember when we were in Indiana and how annoying that was?
Yes, I do.
And we couldn't do anything about it.
No, because they beat Nebraska 54-7.
I know,
or
but
whatever
just
it was. 56-7.
I mean, it was like waking you up in the middle of the night. Hoosiers.
It was relentless.
It's probably worse now.
Or do you think Indiana is like, oh no, we're going to be better than this? What if
they were riding the wave? They were like, look at us.
What a miraculous 8 days for Indiana, though. I mean, they won the national title, then they beat 4th ranked or whatever, top 10 Purdue at home in basketball. Kurt Cignetti was at the basketball game. It's been a nice couple of days for Indiana. I don't know.
I mean, Ball State might be your first victory if you're Northwestern. Then you got to really take that in up to Michigan State. And Greg Schiano's going to bring his crew in. It's going to be physical. Then you go all the way out to Oregon, which is obviously, very talented team. And then you come back and play against Iowa that just wants to line up and 9-on-7 you all day.
That's my biggest thing, Jay, is like you are having a bye in week 2 just so you can play Ball State in week 6.
Well, here's the problem here's what's interesting. Chip Kelly signed on to be their offensive coordinator. I'm sure he didn't sign on for a year. So he's going to clip a 2-year deal from them and get a free year's check if they get fired. Same with Neuheisel.
There's no way you can, if you're Northwestern leadership, you have to look at this and go, all right, we have a coach that's 19-19.
It's kind of like Wisconsin. You should look at the schedule.
Well, Wisconsin's this year is.
No, I'm saying with Luke
smooth.
Fickell last year.
Yeah.
With the schedule.
Sure.
You have to be somewhat realistic. Have we invested into, our coaching staff as far as the coaches pool? Have we invested into recruiting? And then also you want to see a competitive team and a team where the coach hasn't lost the locker room. And that's got to be your benchmarks. And then obviously the wins and losses come next.
Wisconsin's is really interesting this year. So they're going to start off with a neutral site game against Notre Dame. But then I believe that's Western Carolina, their logo. Western Carolina, Eastern Michigan. Here's their conference games. They're able to dodge and avoid. It's essentially Nebraska's of 2025. They don't have to play Ohio State. They don't have to play Michigan. They don't have to play Oregon. They don't have to play. I mean, this is their schedule: Penn State, Michigan State, UCLA, USC, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota. You don't have to play Illinois.
Oh, they'll be back. If they get off to a good start, they'd be like, we're back.
Well, that part, but then if on the other side of that coin, Luke Fickell doesn't
he's gone.
succeed, this is it.
Yeah.
Because the same way that we're talking Northwestern, you got to look at Wisconsin and go, okay, what's realistic here?
Yeah, but I think the realistic conversation was last year. This year, they're going to expect to get to a bowl game, and they're probably trying to get above. Just looking at that schedule,
yeah,
definitely 6 wins is the lowest benchmark you can be at. Got to be 7, because that'll be true progress.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Western Carolina. That they have the logos instead of the names. But I think it's Western Carolina. It's a bad team, so they'll probably lose to Notre Dame. They'll beat their opponents in week 2, week 3. Who knows what the case is between that Michigan State game? I don't know, Jay. There's some interesting. Then you look at like Kyle Whittingham's start. He's got Oklahoma in the non-con, but he doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play some of the other teams. He's got to go to Oregon. He's got to go to Ohio State in year 1. I mean, year 2 of Bryce Underwood's going to be interesting. Something to kind of keep tabs on there. Indiana has to play, obviously, Nebraska. They have to play at Michigan, but they don't have to play Ohio State. They're already done with their 2-year Ohio State deal.
I know.
Man.
They got to play Penn State?
No. Indiana does not play Penn State. Indiana's lines up like this. Versus Northwestern, at Rutgers, at Nebraska. Versus Ohio State. Oh, excuse me. They do have to play Ohio State. Versus Ohio State, at Michigan, versus Minnesota, versus USC, at Washington, versus Purdue. So, not horrible. But you're the national title winners, so they get the easy. Don't forget, Kurt Cignetti's against hard non-conference slates.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we round out the show, get you ready for one-on-one with DP coming up next here on a Thursday.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines. Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better-than-internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Führer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Führer's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Plus take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2226.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Plus take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2226.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. One last time, thanks to Jay Foreman for sitting in for AD as he is under the weather today. Don't go anywhere after we are done here. One-on-one with DP will take you through the 11 o'clock hour. Couple of just news and notes, things to clean up. We have not mentioned, we mentioned a lot of Nebraska basketball recruiting. Sunday is going to be a very, very popular day in the capital city as Nebraska not only hosts top 15 Illinois, but also they will be hosting a slew of high-rated recruits for Nebraska men's basketball. One of them might even double as a football player. However, Nebraska is still trying to put some finishing touches on this recruiting class. Nebraska football is. And four-star defensive lineman Dylan Berryman, his kind of, I should say, giving Husker fans a little bit of concern, and understandably so. It was reported earlier this week that Berryman is going to choose between Nebraska and Kentucky, Jay, but now a late report has said that he will be on the campus of Florida this Saturday, or this weekend, I should say.
And then he's supposed to choose next week, right?
And then he chooses next week for the late period of signing day.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, obviously, look, the one thing with these kids that are recruiting, or that you are recruiting, I mean, you can't believe anything until it's official. And we saw that even with Oregon last year, that defensive lineman that him, Dan Lanning and him, I don't know if they were at the Oregon facility or Dan Lanning's house. They jumped in the pool. Next thing you know, he
was gone.
He committed to like Texas somewhere like a week later. So, look, Florida's trying to rebuild their roster. They got a new coach. They're kind of like, I wouldn't say reeling, but they're probably a little bit behind in their recruiting because it's obviously going from Tulane to Florida, and the coach coached in the bowl game for Tulane, or a college football playoff game to make it be 100% correct. And so, look, he's a big guy. He's I think 6'3", 300 or 320 pounds, 4-star recruit. Those guys don't just they're not a dime a dozen. So Nebraska's been on him. I know Kentucky's been on him as well. Don't think that Kentucky's not trying to, weasel their way in there as well. So got competition for him, and hopefully it works out for Nebraska, but I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, it's also a position of need for Nebraska. I think that's the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
This is a spot to where Nebraska needs bodies. They need guys. They need guys to step up, and they need big bodies to fill some voids.
Well, he's a big dude. I mean, just size alone. I mean, 300 pounds for sure, maybe 320. Seen a couple highlights where he moves pretty well. I mean, obviously you got to be moving at a Big Ten level. That's what you need, big bodies like that. I mean, then you have to really forecast like how much can he really help you in year one.
Yeah, 6'2", 320.
Yeah, so how much can he help you in year one? If he's good enough and he's a 4-star recruit, you expect him to push for playing time. So, hopefully it works out for Nebraska. I know they're recruiting him hard, and sometimes in recruiting, you could do everything. You could send, have a nice contract. He's late in the game.
Yeah, that's the other part that maybe we can talk about.
And yeah, which is interesting. You always wonder, and some guys wait really long, and because they're, choosing between Ohio State and Texas, and they say they play quarterback or whatever. He's late in the game, so I don't know how much leverage you have, but when you have more teams, knocking at your door, the market dictates that. So, big defensive linemen are hard to find, and if they're good enough, if they're good, then they're really hard to find. So, hopefully it works out for Nebraska.
It's interesting to think about the leverage that he could potentially have, and I don't know the answer to this question, but if the one I guess positive side of this is if you are waiting until the February signing period, there's an avenue to where some teams that struck out on some guys in the portal will come and they'll be a little more desperate than maybe they were back in November.
So he's in a good position,
Yeah.
even if you were kind of already like 80% set or whatever it is to go to either Nebraska or Kentucky before this new Florida kind of news came out, and Florida comes calling, you already got a promotion, and an uptick in pay right there. And so, he's got to make a good decision for him. But if we've seen him recruiting, just because you may be missing on him in the first go round, you definitely can get him in the second go round. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely right about that. A couple of Big Ten basketball games to watch tonight. Northwestern plays at home, and Washington travels to Illinois. Those are your two Big Ten basketball games this evening. The Northwestern one, it's Penn State at Northwestern. Probably not a great spectacle to watch, but if you want to see Nick Martinelli play basketball, which he's pretty good at it, you can tune into that one. But Washington and Illinois as well tonight. Husker fans might be a little more tempted to tune into that one. So thanks again to Jay Foreman sitting in for ADJ. Appreciate you as always. One-on-one with DP is coming up next. Don't go anywhere here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience